Spoiler alert, Rob Stark was an idiot. So with that out of the way, onto the video. I find that a lot of people, when they're first starting to use Power BI and they have data all over the place that perhaps they want to bring together and analyze together, the biggest roadblock is that they have all this data in all these different places. Ils ont les données dans toutes les différentes places, mais ils ne savent pas comment unifier les données. So they don't know how to bring the data together. They don't understand how to do relationships. The good news is you don't really need to understand much of the details of that. All you really need is to find a common piece of information, donc une pièce d'information qui est commune entre vos fichiers, that you can use to unify your different sources together. So the great thing about finance is most of the stuff we're looking at is built on strong metadata. So our transaction information or our Excel spreadsheets, usually we have at least a P or at least an FRC. As soon as you have that common piece of information that's present in your sources, you can bring it together in Power BI. The only thing that you need before you get started is a single table that contains a unique row or a unique value for every one of the items that you're unifying on or that you're bringing together on, you're linking on. So if we take the example of FRC, which I'll do in this video, you just need a simple table that lists all FRCs, and that's literally all you need. Once you have that, then you can bring in data from all over the place and then link it to your FRC table. It's really easy to do. So I'll take this example using FRC as the unifying source. So FRC is the common piece of information. Je vais utiliser le CRF comme la pièce d'information qui est commune entre mes données. So here, and I went through this in one of the working groups, I'm using the FRC table that I have. It has every FRC in the whole hierarchy, but really you would literally just need this one field and then you could do your linkages. So I'll show you what I mean. So let's say that I now have this one FRC table here, FRC structure. So now that I have that, all my other information, my other Excel spreadsheets, SQL Server stuff, FRS reports, the only thing that they need for me to be able to link back here is the FRC code. Donc si j'ai le code de CRF, dans mes autres données, je serai capable de faire le lien entre les données et mon table ici, principal, which is FRC structure. So if I go back and look at the data in the FRC structure table, it's just the FRC code. So if I have any other data source with the FRC code, I can create a link. Just to show you an example, I'll go bring in some Excel files from my desktop, but you could get data from anywhere. It doesn't matter. As long as it has FRC in it, you can create the link. Some random files here, PE and FRC. I think I have FRC in here. Let's check. Okay, so yeah, it's a list of PE codes and the sponsor FRC. I have the FRC ID, so I can load that in. And then since that source has the FRC, I can simply link it up to the FRC code here. If the name of the field is very similar, it'll do the link for you. Si le nom de le colonne ici est semblable entre les fichiers, ça va faire le lien pour vous, but here it's a bit different. So if it doesn't do the link automatically, you should just be able to drag and drop like that. Here we go. So I did the link. Now I can go get something else, a completely different file. Doesn't matter, as long as it has FRC in it, I can do the link. Here, I have a list of requests from ERA. Donc j'ai un fichier qui contient toutes les requêtes dans ERA. Et si on a une requête, on a un CRF. If we have a request, we have an FRC because every request has an FRC attached to it. Here we go, right here, FRC to charge. So I'm going to bring that in. I'm going to load that in. And I'll probably have to drag and drop the link as well because the title is different. But remember, if FRC to charge instead was called FRC code, it would do it automatically for me. So drag and drop. And there we go, the link's created. So I can keep doing that. I can do that with as many information sources as I like. And just because I have this one table that unifies all my sources that have FRC, I can link everything to this one table. And then I can assess it all on the dashboard. So I can add slicers and select an FRC and have all the information filter dynamically based on what I'm selecting. So if I go to the dashboard, et si je mets quelques tables ici avec les informations de mes tables ici, for example, I'm just going to create one matrix with, here we go, I'll do the requester, So it's information from ERA, who submitted the request. I'll do maybe the request description. So we have that here. So that's information from ERA. And then let me do another table with information from my other file. So I have the PE ID, then I have the sponsor FRC, maybe I have the title. Here it's doing a count of PE, instead I'll just do it up here. Show me the actual PE ID, there we go. So we see we have the sponsor FRC, so Office of the Chief Statistician, and then we have all the PE codes here going down. So there are two different tables, two different sets of information, but now since I linked them here to the FRC structure, puisque j'ai fait le lien à la structure du CRF, je serai capable de faire un slicer pour que je puisse filtrer les données sur ce que je sélectionne. So if I go back here and I add a slicer, I can go to my FRC structure, so my unifying table, and bring in the FRC code right there as a filter. And if I select the FRC code, let me go and select FRC 10,000, and it should filter. There you go, both tables automatically. So here, voici tous les requêtes par CRF 10,000, et voici tous les éléments de programme de le même CRF. So it did, once I select something here, since both information sources are linked to my one unifying table, whenever I do any filtering, it filters both automatically, and I can start to look at the information together. Even better, if your FRC structure table or your source table has a hierarchy built in, you can use that hierarchy, since every FRC in the table, if you go back here, you don't need it, but it's nice if you have it. We have the entire hierarchy here. So for FRC 33300, we have the field, branch, division, blah, 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 all that stuff. Donc on est capable de mettre la branche, par exemple, dans le filtre, et ça va filtrer toutes les données sur la branche au lieu de le code CRF. So a good example is here. If I just click the hierarchy, and instead I want the branch, so I'm going to drag branch in, and now I can select branches instead. So if I select branch 6.5, informatics branch, it's going to filter both tables on that. So this is a very simple, quick example to show you that all you need is one unifying table. Here it's the FRC. It could be PE, could be something else. And then you can go and get data from any source. It can be Excel, it can be a folder, it can be SQL Server, it can be FRS. And as long as that data source has that one unifying piece of information, donc ici c'est le CRF, you can connect it to your unifying table, and then everything's connected. So you can do a dashboard that filters dynamically based on what you select in a slicer or any other visualization. Ça c'est un exemple qui est très simple, mais vous pouvez voir qu'il y a beaucoup de possibilités pour faire des dashboards dynamiques avec ce concept ici. And all the dashboards I've done, it's the same concept. What's the unifying source? Is it PE? Is it FRC? Maybe it's the PRI for the employee. And then you go and grab anything and you put it here. So, I mean, if you're working in external reporting, you have all of your masher templates for the trial balance stuff. You could go and grab all those different sheets and unifying them using FRC. If you're doing financial statements, same thing with trial balance information, or even the actual financial statements. DPMO, you could go and grab all the DPMO files and unify them with PE or FRC. If you're in systems, well, there's an obvious application, go and get the PE and FRC, and then all your transactions from BRMS, whatever, those all have PE and FRC in them. If you're a CFPD financial officer, you have all your files are related to an FRC. You also have PEs for program reviews, so you can just pick your unifying source and then bring in all your information. If you're in QA or you're in operations, all your non-sale transactions, your travel transactions, or SIMs, your salary transactions, it's all based on data that has an FRC or a PE or a PRI attached to it. You can use this exact same concept, and it's so easy. You just have to make sure you have one table that contains all the unique values for what you want to look at. So it's the FRC structure. And because you do that, you just link everything together and you're done. So if you're going to remember anything when you're bringing together multiple sources of data, donc si vous avez besoin de savoir une chose ou un concept quand vous voulez unifier les données, c'est que vous avez besoin d'identifier une source qui est commune entre tous vos fichiers, and then import that one table, whether it's from FRS or you just even have a list in Excel containing all the values for FRC, PE, whatever. And once you do that, you literally just click Get Data, go and get your data, and then drag and drop your links. And then you can drag and drop all the visualizations you want on your dashboard. And you start to have this really nice dynamic relationship between your data that lets you filter on multiple things at once. So I think that's really useful. If you do have information in a lot of different sources, and most areas in finance where we work, we do have a use case for this, this is how you do it.